of a United States of Africa, one in which he would be president. A continent with one army, one passport, one currency, called the Afro.
Muammar Gadaffi is a popular figure in African history who ruled as president of Libya from 1969 to 2011. When he rose to power, he converted Libya into a republic governed by his Revolutionary Command Council. He also had international ambitions and wanted to export his revolutionary ideas throughout the world. From 1969 to 1977, Gaddafi ruled as the de facto leader of Libya. At this time, he was the revolutionary chairman of the Libyan Republic. Later, from 1977 to 2011, he served as leader of the Libyan Jamahiriya Brotherhood, a post he occupied till death. Muammar Gadaffi had great ambitions for the African continent, but unfortunately, on the 20th of October 2011, he was captured and assassinated after the Battle of Sirte by fighters of the National Transitional Council that were established in Libya. One thing that was so peculiar about Colonel Muammar Gadaffi was that he was extremely unfriendly and distrustful to the Western powers for several reasons. The Western leaders wanted to access Libya's vast oil reserves for their personal interest, but Gaddafi's nationalist and protectionist stance made contracts inaccessible. Gaddafi often outlined his plan to create a new united Africa with its own currency, an army to defend the continent, and a single passport. He wanted to introduce a new currency known as the Golden Dinar to back African countries, thus freeing them from the dollar standard of the United States. In this video, we will be taking a look at why the Western countries, especially those of the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, notably USA, the United Kingdom, and France, regarded Muammar Gaddafi's ambitions as a threat to their influence in Africa. Just stay glued to your screen and watch this video till the end. Before we ride on, do well to like this video and subscribe to the New Tourist channel. Let's begin with why Gaddafi suggested a new currency in Africa. In 2009, Gaddafi suggested a new currency called the Gold Dinar, which will be independent of the American dollar. The key objective of this new currency was to divert oil revenues towards state-controlled funds rather than American banks. The gold dinar was also going to replace oil transactions with the American dollars. Countries like Nigeria, Tunisia, Egypt, and Angola were ready to change their currencies and adopt the new one suggested by Muammar Gaddafi. This was an African dream, but at the same time, a nightmare for the Western financial system. Why and how was Gaddafi's currency a threat to Western powers? All moves towards the adoption of the gold dinar went smoothly until 2011, when the NATO-led coalition began a military intervention in Libya in the name of freedom. Free water, education, medical treatment, and almost free gasoline were very common in Libya under Gaddafi's rule. The leader, who was in power for over 4 decades, managed to gain support of all the major tribes in Libya. He bought social peace through radical measures and adopted a policy of shared oil revenues. Gaddafi wanted to avoid American influence in his oil transactions by using his gold. Shockingly, the Western powers succeeded to neutralize this ambition he conceived and nurtured so dearly. Many people have always said it was good that Gaddafi planned this idea of a new currency in secret before making it known at a time it was almost implemented. If Gaddafi had succeeded to realize his dream, then it would have been a groundbreaking record in the world, because the United States dollars has an unrivaled stand in global currencies. America carries more than 90% of world currency transactions and has a very strong economic dominance that could be hard for Gaddafi to wipe out. More than 60% of foreign exchange reserves are held in US dollars, giving her much strength and value in the forex market across the world. It appears that Hillary Clinton was the Secretary of State in America at the time the rumor from Libya was at its peak. Nearly a third of all emails she received on the security and political situation in Libya during her tenure as Secretary of State came from Blumenthal, a longtime associate who was not formally employed by the State Department. Clinton's correspondence reveals that Blumenthal regularly sent her updates on Libya that cited anonymous sources who claimed to be close to the country's political elites. By then, Libyan watcher circles already knew that Gaddafi was about to start his own monetary system. There were a series of events that took place in Libya before Gaddafi was finally assassinated on October 20, 2011. Hillary Clinton paid a visit to Libya that same month, and the visit was described by many media as a victory lap. Even France, under President Nicolas Sarkozy, was eager to see Gaddafi's plan perish. Some rebels from Libya promised to trade 35% of the country's crude oil to France if she guaranteed them full support in times of need. Indeed, putting in place a gold currency in Africa would have allowed the continent to shake off the last heavy chains of colonial exploitation. Many conspiracy theorists are of the opinion that Gaddafi's new plan for Africa would have meant an entirely new banking system for the continent. This means that some economic power would have been taken off from the Western powerhouses and also dealt a severe blow to the United States dollar-based monetary system. The debate about Muammar Gadaffi's single currency for all African countries has drawn much comments from around the world, though many people brush it off as a mere conjecture and conspiracy. Peter Koenig, a renowned economist and former World Bank employee, once mentioned in an interview that Gaddafi was not killed for humanitarian reasons, but because he wanted to empower Africa through his idea of the gold dinar. So, the gold dinar was not to happen, and this is clearly seen in how the United States officials reacted towards the vision. Anybody to this day who threatens the dollar hegemony will obviously face difficulties. That means anybody other than China and Russia, because they already largely detached their economies from the dollar by implementing hydrocarbons, as well as other international contracts in gold or their respective local currencies some years ago. Muammar Gaddafi was described as a dictator by the Western powers, just as they will do to anyone who doesn't submit to their rules. However, he was very much loved by the people of his country, Libya. He had a more than 80% approval rate by his nationals. That is how a vision that was intended to change Africa's economy was crushed down by the giant Western nations. However, there are always mixed feelings each time this topic is raised. While some people support Gaddafi's dream of establishing the gold-backed currency in Africa, others say the project might have even worsened the economic situation of the continent. So, the gold dinar was not to happen, and this is clearly seen in how the United States officials reacted towards the vision.
We came, we saw, he died.
What is your own take on this debate? You can share with us in the comments section, and do not forget to hit the like button if you enjoyed watching. Before we leave a view, subscribe to the New Tourist channel and turn on notifications so you get notified whenever we upload interesting and highly informative videos like this. Thanks for watching, and see you in our next video.